Hello, this is Kaki Lee, and welcome to the Abundant Goddess Show, where I'll be sharing daily, bite sized pearls of wisdom I've picked up along my life journey that has allowed me to embrace and unleash my inner abundant goddess. And that's exactly what I want for you, to embrace and unleash your inner abundant goddess. I love talking about anything and everything to do with life, but I especially love talking about money, mindset, and energy, which is the main focus here. If you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe to my show so you don't miss out on your daily dose of wisdom from myself. And also follow me and let me know what you think on Facebook and Instagram at Abundance with Kaki Lee. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Abundant Goddess Show. Today's pearl of wisdom is you don't need to be an entrepreneur. Ever since I started my entrepreneurial journey and really committed to showing up and doing all the things that I do online, at the beginning, especially, I found that whenever I have conversations with people about careers and being in a job, people have this tendency to explain or justify why they are still in a 9 to 5 and not become an entrepreneur like I have. And I always found it quite amusing because my question never was, when are you going to do your own thing and be an entrepreneur and be successful? It's never been that. It's always just been like a conversation, probably around, they were asking me, how is it, da, 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 and then they would just go on and justify it. And and for me, I don't really care if you're an entrepreneur or if you're in your 9 to 5. What I care about is whether you are happy doing what you're doing. So if you're in a 9 to 5 and you are fully happy with your 9 to 5, or how it fits into your life, keep staying there. There is no reason to change things that are working for you and you're happy about. But if you're in a 9 to 5 and you're not happy, you hate your life, then do something about it, right? And the thing is, being an entrepreneur is one way that can get you out of that rut, but there are multiple ways that can get you out of a 9 to 5 or a job that you don't like. For example, finding another job in a better environment, or start learning something new and starting in a new profession. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The main point is that you need to get out of the place that is not satisfying you. But being an entrepreneur is not something that is for everyone. I can tell you it is challenging. You need to take responsibility for every single thing that you do. And for me, going from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset is something that I still sometimes struggle with. And it's, again, always a work in progress. That's my motto, always a work in progress, because you're always continuously learning new things and discovering patterns that you picked up when you were working under someone, like as an employee, that you're like, oh, that doesn't kind of work in the entrepreneurial world. Now, being an employee, like for me, I know that when I was an employee, I was super responsible. I got my shit done, da 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 da. But that transition was still very hard. It was a different kind of mindset, because the timelines that were set before, I was responsible, but I didn't set the timeline. Someone else set the timeline, and I needed to meet that person's timeline, and it's my boss, so I need to do my work. When you're an entrepreneur, well, that's a bit different, because you're setting your own timelines. And if you are not responsible, you don't, or things don't work out, you may or may not meet your timeline, or you might push it out. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do that later, or I'll do that another time. So you really need to be responsible for yourself. And that's something that is very hard for majority of people. Bringing it back to whether to be an entrepreneur or not, I think if you have a desire, if you have a curiosity of wanting to become an entrepreneur, definitely, do what you can to become an entrepreneur. But if you find that it's not for you, don't stick it out and go, oh, I need to do this because what would other people think? If you've done what you can to become the entrepreneur and you're like, I hate life, I don't like this, then there's nothing wrong with you going back to a 9 to 5 job or a part-time role, whatever it is. What I want to remind you is that you need to define what it is that you want your life to look like. What does your career look like? I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and he's unsure of what he wants to do in the career, but he's currently happy because what he's doing now is allowing him to fulfill his personal life because it allows him to spend time with the family, etc., etc. So a lot of times we put so much emphasis on having that career, having that business, having that success in the career and don't think about our personal life. So what you really want to do is getting very clear on what your whole life picture looks like and go, is being an entrepreneur going to fulfill this life that I want to create? Is it going to fulfill me personally, as in my career, financially, health-wise, relationship-wise, value, your community, whatever it is? Like, you need to look at all aspects of your life and making sure that what you're doing is satisfying. So if you being an entrepreneur is going to help you reach all your goals in all areas of your life, go do it. But if it's not, if you're 9 to 5, you're just happy doing what you're doing because it allows you to do everything else that makes you happy, nothing wrong with that. I just want to remind everyone that it is okay not to be an entrepreneur, because there's this trend, especially since the pandemic started, that if you leave your job or if you want to be successful, you need to be an entrepreneur. And that is so not true. Because even looking at myself, I went on maternity leave, I learned how to share trade. That replaced my income, right? That allowed me to quit my 9 to 5. Okay. I could have just gone, well, I'll just trade and not put myself out there and do the coaching and all those kind of things, because that's already helped me to replace my income. But the thing is, what that's allowed me to do is go, I can pursue my passions. And my passion really is to help other people to become wealthy, not just financially, but also in every area of their life. Right? So I teach them how to trade. I teach them the mindset. I teach them the energy and how to shift all your BS, right? But I didn't need to do that part of things. I could have just stayed and done my trading, and that would have fulfilled me because it would allow me to do whatever I want to do. But it's now allowed me to have a career in a completely different field to pharmacy, which was what I was in before. Right? It's allowed me to build relationships with people and learn, which is a very high on my value scale. It's allowing me to spend time with my family. I can pick up my girls to and from school. I don't need to ask for leave. If I want to go on if they have an excursion, I can go with them. All these things. So I want to just remind you once again, define what it is that you want your life to look like. And then you can decide whether you want to stay in your 9 to 5 or become an entrepreneur, and that you don't need to become an entrepreneur to be successful. And that's the end of the show. Please share this episode with anyone that needs a reminder that they don't need to become an entrepreneur. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my show, and remember to follow me over at Facebook or Instagram at Abundance with Kaki Lee to connect with me and to let me know what you think of the episode. If you're interested in working with me or learning from me, that is learning how to create wealth in all areas of your life and share trading, then contact me on Facebook or Instagram via DM or email me at hello@kakilee.com.